Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream. Now, I'm gonna do my intros a little bit different. If you're new here, my name's Tyler, and I'm here to help you navigate the wild world of day trading futures. During these live streams, I'm gonna be breaking down live. You'll also find where all the trades that I take as far as and also detail explanation so you can learn exactly and see exactly what I was thinking and why. Now, for those of you that are ready to take the next step in your trading journey, I have a discount for you for my community. You can use the code DTJ to get 80% off your next Apex evaluation to start your own funded journey. You can find all those links and codes down in the description of this video. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get going. I know we got some things happening today, but I would like to actually start out by praying. I want to do this more. I want to start out giving and committing this time to the Lord. So I just want to honor the Lord in my trading, not only to ask for his blessing on my trading, but also for your trading. And I think this is something that I in the past have overlooked and want to do more of. So Father, I just want to thank you for the opportunity that we have to make money as day traders. And I want to thank you that you've given me and those here the ability to produce wealth. So today, Father, we receive what you have for us out of the market, and we trust in your provision through it. I just come against the spirit of doubt. I come against the spirit of selfish ambition, greed for more, and the lies that the enemy whispers saying that we can't do this or you can't do this, because the truth is you can. So, Father, we honor you and we thank you for your favor. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I am ready to rock and roll. Let me just put in here, good morning. Do you guys see what the chart looks like? It looks kind of exciting. It does not look shabby at all. Now, I'm not probably going to take anything before open. We'll see what it looks like around open here, which is in 7 minutes. We're going to pin this message up there. So we're going to start out with a higher time frame analysis. I'm going to be very careful because why I'm saying that is because I think we may have an opportunity sooner than we think, and I just want to make sure I'm ready for it. So I'm going to make sure I'm all set up so that I can take that opportunity when it presents itself. And that is what trading is all about. Waiting, and then when the opportunity shows up, you take it and you don't hesitate. You jump on top of the opportunity. So for whatever reason, it has not been loading. I have to manually copy and paste. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Set. Okay. So normally I would start out with a higher time frame perspective. I'm not going to do that because I think the highest we're going to go is the 1 hour here. Okay, so I want you to take a look. The only thing that we have sitting above us is the monthly buy-side liquidity. And what the heck? Let's just go higher here. So monthly buy-side liquidity. What am I referring to? I'm referring to the monthly candle, the wicks high right here. This is that monthly wick high. That's what I'm referring to. We did not grab the sell side of that wick. We didn't grab the sell side liquidity of this monthly candle. Look at every other candle you see on this screen. Every other candle has gotten at least one buy side or sell side liquidity of the previous month's candle. Here, 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 all of these. This candle has not been grabbed yet on the sell side nor the buy side. I would say there's a higher probability we grab that buy side liquidity. Now, if we drop down to a daily time frame, we had a big day yesterday. I have a hard time thinking that we're just going to explode higher, especially since it's Friday. This could be next week's target. That's a real possibility. Dropping down to the 15-minute time frame, this is really where it gets juicy. Look at this liquidity run right here. We grab these relatively equal highs sitting right there in the pre-market. Now, could we run back up to these levels? Absolutely. But I'm just noting that we made some lows and we exploded to buy side liquidity, and now we're retracing. We're in the middle of a higher time frame breaker sitting right here, and potentially at the open we could be changing directions and moving back up towards these equal highs that we just ran. Now, midnight open is also up here, and the new day opening gap is up here. So we're going to have a premium opening gap, which would and could draw price higher, at least for the initial run off of open. But I do like lower prices. And if we can get something like this, maybe into this breaker here, I like this breaker. And let's drop down into the 5-minute time frame. This breaker comes after this 5-minute change in state of delivery. Right there. That's a 5-minute change in state of delivery. 5-minute time frame, change in state of delivery. So, with that being said, my initial analysis is we're going to move higher. How high? I don't know. I'm hoping it's not much higher than this, and that we begin to move lower. This push higher will fill the opening range gap that we have. That will happen once we have regular trading hours set. So you can see here's the close of the previous day's session, and it's going to drop down. It looks to about there. I'm looking right here. This is where price is right now. And so you can see my mouse, the line. I'm just going to literally point at my screen, but that's going to mean nothing to you guys. Hey, look, do you see that right there? Can't see nothing. Okay, so this is more than likely where the opening range gap is going to be. We have our midnight open. 9:30 is our previous day. Not worried about that. And this is our previous day fair value gap. So let's jump back over to regular trading hours, where we'll have the open in 45 seconds. Now, I pray that I did this correctly. I hope this isn't delayed. I bet you I didn't do it. Oh, we got ultra low streaming. Okay, because I never clicked anything. Good morning, Felipe. Good morning, Ted. Glad to have you guys this morning. Let me do it to my favorite screen. Here's my favorite screen. Gives us more of a... All right, so here we go. 9 seconds. This is going to be our opening price somewhere around here. All right, here's our open. There's the... Where's my box? There it is. 9:30 open is right there. We are filling the opening range gap right now. There it is. Opening range filled. Breaker hit. That's, to me, the rejection that I want to see. Now, am I going to take this rejection here? No. But what I would take is if we close and we start running below the 930 opening. If we close below the 930 opening price, I would run this liquidity down here. I'm waiting to see what happens with this candle. Are we wanting to stay here? Are we wanting to run higher? Or are we just wicking to grab this level and then move lower? That's kind of what I'm looking for. So far, this breaker looks, oh my gosh. Be patient. Do we have news? I need to find out. FX calendar, Friday morning. Do we have news? No news. We have FOMC speaker at 2 o'clock. Harker. It's patty cake stuff, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so look at where this candle is. Let's see how we reject this level. We're inside this. This is a beautiful area for a short, to be honest. I just can't do it right off the open. I want to wait for a little more evidence on what it wants to do here. We have the new day opening gap here and the equal highs that are sitting here. We have not ran in the opening in the New York session. Okay, so there's the New York session ran of the highs. Now, I think we could reject. 76 to 66, that's 10 handles. We do not have a fair value gap yet. We have 35 seconds. Let's see if we get a fair value gap here. This is what I was expecting. It's really hard to want to take that right off the open though. I took this emotional trade here. Let's see if it wants to continue pushing or if it's going to reject. I'm going to sell there. I want to wait for a little more context now that we hit the 930 price. I want to see it fill, see if we leave this fair value gap right here. And then if we, okay, so there's the fair value gap that I was waiting for. Actually, let's go to the 1 minute time frame. We don't have one on the 1 minute time frame yet. We do have a fair value gap on the 30-second right here. And we're sticking around the 930 price. That's the main reason why I sold it. Morning, Deborah. Good morning, Jonathan. Glad to have you guys. Glad you're here. Okay, let's see if what are we going to do in this area here? 49 seconds for the 5 minute to close. The 5 minute is in a 5 minute fair value gap right now. Let's see what happens with that. So we're going to be patient and wait. It'd be pretty awesome to see it close within the 5 minute personally. New day opening gap here. Rejected twice with the bodies of the candles. On the 30-second, this is we're back on the 1 minute. Time frame that I'm sitting on is always in the top right corner for you guys to be aware of that. Okay, we just closed above this 30-second. Normally that would tell me price is going to run for these highs, but I'm not yet convinced that's going to be the case. I'm hoping that this turns into a fair value gap right here. Right? That looks beautiful. Do you guys see why? That fair value gap overlaps with midnight open beautifully. So at this point, I want this high to be ran, but not to move past. I just want to sweep this high, and I would love for us to run for lower prices. The 5-minute did close out the fair value gap. We got a big 4-hour fair value gap that needs to be filled down here. Okay, for higher prices, we have a 1-hour fair value gap sitting right here. That's a 1-hour fair value gap, folks. If you look at the 1-hour time frame, it's the only fair value gap that has not been filled in this price leg. I'm sure in a lower time frame we could find one. Yeah, there's a 15-minute up there, way up here, but I think that's a little high in premium. I'm not interested in that. I want to, if we're going to run higher here, I want it to hit this hourly and then flip over. That's really what I would want to see. We just made equal highs right here. Not liking the change in state of delivery. That worked here back at 8:55. I think that's irrelevant now. 20,092. That is the level. Villainous. That is the level. Good morning. I'm glad you're here, man. All right, equal highs should be ran. There it is. I'm looking at this. I'm referring anytime I have the 9:30 price or midnight open. I'm always referring to it in the context of Power of 3, in the context of AMD. That is how I refer to these two prices. So if you don't know what that is, I have a video on my channel that goes in depth understanding Power of 3, and it's the video called Intraday Trading for Beginners. Intraday Trading for Beginners. Check out that video, watch it, and it will give you a good understanding. I break it down on how I use the 9:30 and the midnight levels. Okay, look at that aggression off of sweeping these highs. Let's see if we can close below this or if it's just wicking into it. I'll set this over here for now. Okay, no close below, respecting the initial 1-minute fair value gap. Can't tell you how glad I am I closed that earlier trade. Yeah, I was in profit for about 8 handles, but I felt emotional about it. I mean, because the problem is everything was looking so good and it was moving. It was so fresh off the open that I'm just like, I'm feeling anxious, and I just didn't like that feeling. So I'd rather just take the profit and go for another trade. Let's see how this closes. 15 seconds here. If we close below it, just like that, there's... All right, I'm going... Okay, look at where this body closed. It closed in this volume imbalance. That could be support. That could be found as support. So I'm being careful. I'm looking for it to hit this swing low here to take profit. That'd be 16 handles. Actually, I think I'm going to go for these equal lows here. And I'm going to, because this is copied, I'm going to close them a little bit differently. I want to see this close before 9:30. I'm not liking that candle there. All right, stopped out. Make sure all trades are closed. As the max, I was willing to lose, and let's see if it closes above this. Yep, that was a good stop out. I'm happy with that. Followed the rules. We closed above the inversion fair value gap that went against us. I'm 100% okay with that. I am. We followed the rules. That is what we call a good loss. That's a by the rule book loss. I'm not worried about that. By the rule book is the better way to... Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I don't know if I want that. I'm going to remove that there, Dunsworth. No, I don't want to go long when it hits that level. I don't do turtle soups. I can't. We rejected the opening range or the new day opening gap. That's... I could see this just aggressively moving lower here. It's just really sloppy. So I'm going to let this go. Even though I see this running lower, I'm going to let this run without me because it's sloppy. I don't like sloppy, and I'm going to sit out on sloppy. Why do I say it's sloppy? Well, we had an inversion fair value gap right here, the only one so far in price action, and we closed below it and we couldn't even get this low right here. We stopped at 930. We should have ran this liquidity right here. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to wait for something that's extremely obvious. This one was obvious. This was a good trade. This was a good trade. Swept the high. We have equal highs here. We rejected it with some intentionality. But then once we closed here, it's like we stopped. It's like we couldn't go anymore. For 2 minutes, couldn't go anywhere. So it's one of those trades that if you can't take a trade like that and take a loss like a man in this situation, trading's not for you. Because you're going to have beautiful setups. You're going to have your model present itself in a beautiful way, and it's just not going to work. And if you can't handle a loss like that, then trading's not for you. It's going to blow through all this. It's going to blow through it. Rejection of the fair value gap 3 times. That makes me want to go short in it. I guess it wasn't 3 times, it was 2 times. See how sloppy this is? Stay out. Guys, sit on your hands. Sit on your hands right now, or you will get burned. Don't let the way the candlesticks look entice you. Look left before you see something that looks like, oh man, it's just gonna run all this. Look at this and say to yourself, I don't care what this candle is doing, it could be a fake out. Even this, look at that. Oh, it's gonna run, it's gonna run. It probably will. But you got to look left and say to yourself, is it worth the risk of losing money when I have seen what the past has looked like? And it's giving me no evidence that it wants to change its patterns, change its delivery of price. I mean, even look at this candle. Big black candle. It looks like it's just gonna drop and then it stops. Those are the things you got to figure out. You got to answer those questions. I'm sitting. Five minutes gonna close right now in 5 seconds. That will be a good sign for lower prices. That would be the only thing. You could see there's 5 minute right there. But we have not had a single close below 930. Manipulation. I mean, come on. Honestly, would we have expected that to happen? That's the last thing I expected to happen. I mean, I guess I could justify it by seeing 930 being supported so many times. I mean, look at that giant candle, and then look how it turns around completely. I'm telling you guys, seriously. Sit out. This is how you protect your capital. We already tried one trade, and it didn't work. We took a solid loss. I say solid as in it was a good loss. And now we're just waiting for something waiting for something that's in better conditions, because I mean, when you look left, it's all choppy, it's all nasty. I like this 30-second right here with these relatively equal lows. I do like this. Well, can't do anything about that pretty much now. Unless it's not going to give us the close, or if it's not going to run those lows. Okay, let's see if it takes it. There's our close below. See if it runs these lows and goes lower. Or if it's going to run against us. We're watching this idea right here. This would be where the trade would close. This is where we would take profit, targeting probably these lows at 22 handles. But I mean, you see what you're seeing, what I'm seeing. I'm not in a trade here. We have a fair value gap right here. It's in the middle of all the junk. 1 minute closed right on 930. We're going to get a close below or no? No close again. That 930 price, man, is legit. There's our close. I could see it coming back up to this volume imbalance sitting right here. See that volume imbalance? If we run through this low, I would expect a bigger move lower. So we're targeting this low. We're watching this low, but we want to see it not just sweep it and turn the other direction, but we want to see it aggressively move past it. We really have no entry here, folks. That's what I was looking for. Do you see that? Do you see that type of candle right there? That's the kind of reaction we were looking for. Just wish it gave us something pretty to work with. It just was very, very sloppy. This is probably going to be very aggressive to the downside. I'm watching this 15-minute. That's where I'd want to see it run to. Did I take that sell? Not on this account. Not on screen for you guys to see. I did take a personal trade. There was no model in here. This was literally, there's no model other than I've seen it reject here. I saw it reject this fair value gap. I was waiting for this close beneath, but no specific model. No model. Just momentum on just feeling like it's gonna roll over. So I took that. I did take that on my personal account, but I'm not going to. That's not what my stream is about. My stream is teaching a specific model. Some of these things you can't teach. You can't, and I'm teaching you to read price, which I did on screen. I'm teaching you to read price, and then you decide what you want to do with it. But as far as the models that I'm going to teach, I didn't take a trade here. I did take an earlier one on the fair value gap, and it was a loss. And it was a good loss. It was a solid. It was a solid loser. That's what I want. 70 handles right here. I'm holding 1 micro on my personal account to see if we can hit down here. But until then, I still don't see any other opportunities. I would, if I was looking for a long, I would have wanted this low to be swept. Okay, that low right there. So I'm looking at this as just a retracement, especially when we see how wicky and how nasty it was here. It wouldn't surprise me that we get a candle like this, and then the next candle just continues lower. Part of the gig of trading different days. And yesterday was just a huge green day, so we expect the following day after a big green or a big red day for choppy seek and destroy like conditions. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Nothing's pretty here. Nothing's pretty. I'm okay with it not hitting the monthly high. I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to do that, especially if we are bearish. I would actually prefer it not to. If we've hit our peaks, I don't want it to hit that because that tells me we may also run for all-time highs. I don't necessarily want all-time highs again. I really don't like trading all-time highs. This could be a trade opportunity. It's not A+. It's not A+. But it's something. You could target this high right here. You could target 930 price as well. You could target that volume imbalance right there. That hasn't been filled yet. We got volume imbalances all over the place here. So for those of you saying, oh, well, how do I know he's in a trade? There's my trade right there so far. I'm holding 1. There's my stop to break even. And as I said, I'm just holding it to see if it wants to run lower. I took profit all the way down here. And now just hanging out, seeing if we can get a trade here. We have a close above right there. I'm not going to take it. I mean, it's a B+. It's a B+. Main reason it's not an A+ is we didn't sweep this low. And maybe B- even, because we haven't seen any clean price action yet. Let's see where this candle closes. If it closes below this box and then continues higher, that's just crap, man. It's crappy price action. I like this. I like this candle here so far. Personally, I would like to see lower prices because I'm in a short. But that's set. It's set at break even. I'm leaving it. I'm not even looking at it. If you like the commentary so far, guys, hit the like button. Do me a solid. I think I'm going to change the request for a like button to get... I know you guys aren't going to like this, but give me a thumbs up or let me know what you think about it. Hit the I don't know, hit the like button, 100% button. I don't know. I'm going to maybe require likes, a certain number of likes, maybe 15 likes before I do a higher time frame analysis on price. Basically say, hey, if you want to see the higher time frame analysis, I need to see 15 likes or something like that. Because I hate asking all the time, but it's needed in this industry to ask for those stinking likes. It's annoying. I wish there was another way I could tell the algorithm people are liking it. There are other ways. One is by you guys sitting on stream. So collectively, with the number of people on here, the average concurrent viewership on here is 16 minutes. So you take the individual times of all of you guys, everybody has been on here on average 16 minutes. All right, so we just closed below. So you see that? See how this failed? Now, if we do in fact now move higher, this is like one of those I don't want to be touching today with my funded accounts. I already have a win on the cash account. I have my stop at break even. Not worried about it. If it wants to run back up, because my short is right at 930. So if it wants to run up here and tap me out, that's fine. I took profit already. I'm done with that cash account. But outside of me taking a momentum trade, there hasn't been anything good. There hasn't been nothing that's been good. Is my music done? I need to get some more music here, folks. Seems to run out on me fast. Hey, and guess what we got? We got 15 likes, so now I can talk about the higher time frame analysis. I'm looking at two, if we're talking higher time frame here, I'm looking at two levels. 15-minute is considered higher time frame. To me, what I've seen is enough for the upside. I am heavy on the downside. However, you could see price come up to the 1 hour even. I really want to see how we react in this 15-minute down here. That's really what I'm watching. That's really what I want to see. How do we react? That's where I'm expecting price to go, quite frankly. It's also the low of this candle here at 9:45. It's the previous day open market low. So let's mark that out. Previous day low, ba-bam, right there. That's our previous day low. And if that would be a total of, from this 930 opening price, that's 71 handles. Still choppy, guys. I mean, this candle closed Did that close? Yes, it did. There's another, did that? No, it did not close below. It closed on it. So the close was right here. That's fine. We should run these lows if our model's going to work here today. So far, my first trade I took, it did not work. And this trade we did not take, it did not work either. Price has just been crappy, sloppy. You literally have to be on the right side of the move. We had the right idea here when we took this short right here. We took a short right here. We were on the right side of the trade. I wanted the downside. I've wanted the downside since the beginning. But then we got all of this. When did price start moving? 950. We had a wick higher. And 951, we turned the other direction and we haven't looked back. 951 is when we started. This low is 10 a.m. and we just wicked lower. That's 10 a.m. And now we're at 10:12. We just wicked that low. This is permission to move the other way. That's what this means. I am not expecting it to move the other direction. I could see a retracement here, but look at all these wicks. There's nothing for us to work with here. All these wicks are covering up all the fair value gaps. There's nothing here. This is sloppy. It's wicky. It's nasty. This is stuff we need to stay out of. Let's take a look at the trade. Where are we at right here? Once we hit this low, I will close that trade. I'll close it with you guys watching on it. I want to see this close. I want to see this close below. It needs to close below that line. That's important. This is that low from over here. We want to see the bodies close below it, not just wick below it. The bodies tell us the story. The bodies are telling us the direction. So if the bodies aren't closing below it, it's telling us the story. Now, it could still change directions, but this is one of the confluences we're looking for that tells us price wants to move lower. It's in the car. Where does it go since there's no fair value gap here? Is there one on the 30-second? There's a tiny one here. But there's still almost nothing here. I'm just not, it is frustrating when you get this type of price action, but let's talk about the limelight. That's not the word I'm looking for. Let's talk about the limelight. Let's talk about the positive out of the situation. Is that what's the coin, the termed coin I'm trying to refer to? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let's turn this bag of the silver lining. Let's talk about the silver lining in this. The silver lining in this being all crappy is one thing. Your ability to identify that it's freaking crappy. That's the silver lining. So many traders cannot do that. It is a skill set. There's two parts of the skill set. being able to identify it, and then number 2, being able to stay out of it or put restraints on yourself to actually not take the stinking trades when you see that price action is not favorable. This price action, no, is not favorable. Did it work when I took that short after 9:30? Yes, it did, and it did it based on one idea, only one, and that's the power of 3. I mentioned for you to check out that video. It's called Intraday Trading for Beginners. Check it out. Intraday Trading for Beginners talks about power of 3. This accumulation, manipulation, a close below distribution. Now, it didn't have to be right here. It just was at that time. Okay? It could have been at noon that we went below 9:30. We could have went below 9:30, came back up, and hung around here till the PM session and then ran low. You have to incorporate time with price. Time just happened to align with this price action here, and it moved lower. Now I'm looking for the previous day low to be targeted, to be hit. So I have an entry on my personal account with 1 micro remaining, and I'm waiting for, let's see, that's 963. And I'm waiting for 963. Right there. Let's see if it gives it to me. Or is it going to come all the way back up here and stop me out? This was that low. Remember that. This was that low. Do we got anything on the 2-minute? Ooh, there's a 2-minute one. Let's see if price wants to wait for this 2-minute. It's not bad. I think this looks really nice. Low, a purge lower, we sweep liquidity, and we have a fair value gap right here on the 2-minute. We got 1 more minute to wait. That could be a nice trade to these swing highs. I'm not saying it's going to go past 9:30. It absolutely could. If we're looking at the previous day low to be ran. Let's just see. Oh, I'm talking and you have no idea what I'm looking at. I hate when I switch screens and I do that. We're on the 2-minute here, and this is the 2-minute fair value gap. So far, this wick is scaring people out of going short, and that could have been a short entry there in itself. Not the model I take. We have these up close candles, order block, fair value gap overlapping. Let's see if this closes red in black in 25 seconds. No doubt running that low. You know what it also hit? Look at this. Hello, hello, breaker. Beautiful. Breaker City. Right there, folks. Even if it doesn't run lower, that in itself is what? 9, that's 20 handles. Over 20 handles right there. That's not bad. Seeing this react here gives me more confidence in taking a trade in my funded accounts. I want to see if it wants to come back up and still respects it. If it runs right now, it will go without me. I'm okay with that. But if it's going to do this choppy thing and it wants to come back up here and show me multiple times that it wants to respect the breaker, I may use that as confluence to take a short on my funded accounts. Thanks, TOC. Joseph, did you say that when I started the 2-minute? I literally switch over the 2-minute and then I'm looking now at your comment. 2-minute looks way better, by the way. I mean, it looks significantly better. Way to go, Joseph. You're on point. I wasn't on the screen to be able to see any comments, so I did not see your comment and said that. But I like when we have multiple people thinking the same thing. It's nice. I will not take a short here. The only way I'm going to take a short is if we get back up into this. I want to take it out of this fair value gap here. It needs to be from here. I don't like that we're at 10:22. We're not in a macro time. That's okay. If you're liking the commentary, again, hit the like button for me. I greatly appreciate it, guys. And then also, I mentioned before, Apex has an 80% off discount on all their eval accounts. And if you want to start your funded journey with Apex, use the code DTJ. It's the easiest and most free way for you to support this channel. It costs nothing extra. In fact, when you use the code, you get an 80% off discount. So, TOC, have a great weekend. There was my entry, and I didn't take it. I missed it. Wasn't paying attention. I'm going to see if it gives me 10 handles for a push lower. I'm looking at just 10 handles. 94 to 84. Be right here. I'm going to see if I can get 10 handles out of it. We have a volume imbalance. We should come back down and come back into that. I'm hoping that when it does, it fills this and runs to this level here. Let's see if it happens. Nope. Gonna be done on the personal account. That's 2 losses. On the personal... Oh, no, that wasn't personal. I apologize. That was on the funded accounts. I was really hoping we would find resistance here again and continue lower. 12 seconds. Let's see if it closes in there. And if it does close in there, it's like I said, price action is nasty. Okay, so it closed above. That would have been a long idea, but I don't like the long either. This is a sit and wait, don't mess around with it type price action. The breaker's looking nice. It's been reacting pretty well. And to be honest, your price action probably is going to get a lot better in the PM session. It'll probably be better in the PM session than the AM session. Right below the previous day low is this nice fair value gap on the hourly. It's also overlapping with the 15-minute. So 15-minute and 1 hour overlapping. This is a nice draw on liquidity. Main reason why I took that short. I think honestly what I did was a mistake. I shouldn't have taken that. That was me trying to do something for my viewers. I'm sorry. That was me trying to make a trade and put it on screen for my viewers instead of being patient. Because be honest, if I was to take that, if I was going to do that, it should have been right here. It would have given me 17 handles if I did a 10 handle stop loss. Yeah, if I would have taken a long or a short right when we hit that breaker again, it would have delivered 17 handles. And I would have had the choice to either get out or hold it back to break even to see if it actually gives me anything. I shouldn't have taken it here below this breaker. I should have waited for the breaker. Deeper is always better. Deeper discounts. There's 50% retracement. Still sitting in that, folks. Still sitting in that 1 micro. Looking for these lows down here. Looks like the 1 minute's looking good now on the downside. You got a 1 minute. Right here. Normally, I would say this should work. Normally, I would take this, but not going to. And it has to close below before it hits this low right here. Sorry. Normally, here's the 1 minute. Normally, I would take this trade right here but it would need to close below this box and not below this swing low. We got 31 seconds. If it closes below this, it's a no trade. Okay, there's a trade idea. Let's see if it hits this low. As soon as it hits this low, your stop would be moved to break even. Let's see. There's your, this is the trade. Once it hits this low right here, all right, stops at break even. Let's see if it's a break even trade or if it continues to this low. Okay, you would have been stopped out. That would have been a break even trade. Break even trade on that one. This is just because of the sloppy price action, guys. And that's okay. My lesson for me is the first loss I took, very small loss, 7 handles, not a big deal. It was a good loss. This loss I'm a little more irritated with on myself. When I took this short right here while it was peaking higher. All right, so I'm going to let it run through this low a little bit. I'm going to see if we could get just a little bit further. Okay, so this is that low I'm referring to. It's yesterday's previous low. I'm not liking the way this candle's closing, by the way. Not at all. 7 seconds. I want it to close red. Okay. Little green candle. Without grabbing the previous day low. I'm going to sell that there. I'm okay. That's so you guys can see the execution there. Okay, 20,034 down to 19,990. That's 44 handles for a trade. Could have got an extra 15 handles there. I like this sweep of the lows. Let's see if it wants to be aggressive in 2 candles here. I would not take this. Even though it's a legitimate setup, I would have preferred to see the swing low taken before I see a retracement. It is terrible. This is horrible price action. And not because we don't know how to read price. It's just, honestly, it's really very poor price action. I think the PM session is going to be better. But we're not streaming PM session, are we? This is an eval account. I will trade an eval account different than I will my funded accounts. So I'm done on the fundeds. I had 2 losses. Won't take another one. I have a 3 trade limit. I prefer to trade on that. And if I have a small loss, first loss that's with my rules, then I'll take a second trade. The second trade is the deal breaker. And since it was a loss, I'm not going to take another one. Okay, I like this for... I'm going to do this just because. Let's see what happens here. Eval, inversion long. Targeting those highs. And the 50% retracement. As soon as we get to this swing high here, I'll be moving my stop to break even. We're going to take one off there. We're going to take one off there. All right, so TP1 taken. Stop is now to break even. We got TP2 sitting right here. And then we'll see if TP3 wants to run. What I liked about this is we wicked below. I do not like how we didn't take a previous day low. Now, the only reason why I don't like it is because we could still run it. But if the bias is to run the highs and run this hourly to get up to this hourly and maybe even move higher, then we don't have to hit this previous day low. But my stop's at break even, so if we get stopped out, we got 10 handles on one mini contract. So we got an SMT, is that what you're saying, John? You like SMTs. I don't watch them nearly as much as I probably should. I kind of want to move this a little bit lower. I'm going to let it give me an opportunity, see if it wants to just come back into this and then run higher. Why did I do what I did? This right here. Seeing if it wants to, nope, it didn't. So, wicked me out. It basically, I set it not far enough down to take me negative, but it ran the profits. It took away the profits that I had. Legit trade. Shouldn't have probably moved my stop. I just wanted to see, give it, because of how wicky it's been, I wanted to see if I gave it room for a wick that it may run higher. That was the idea. There's your close below on that. This is... We'll play that too. Close below here. Let's see if it runs this low right here. Again, eval only, folks. Eval only. This is the trade idea right there. A close above that fair value gap. Inversion fair value gap is a close of the trade. We want to see it hit this low right here. I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to take it off. I'm not a fan of it. This is what I wanted to see in my first trade. Is it to wick lower and come back up? It just, the wicks today aren't very beneficial for the model, my inversion model, which is moving my stop to break even as quickly as possible. It's not very advantageous right now because we got all these wicks that are just destroying any opportunities that present itself. This is a breaker, low, high, lower, low, in respect to the bodies. We come lower, high, lower, low, break higher, breaker right here. I think this could be a model 2022 to the upside. Adzi, you are right. You could go demo. You could go full-blown demo. Oh, I can't trade the PM session. I have some work I have to do this afternoon. It is not a good time to trade. No. That's why I closed my accounts. I got a win on my personal account. Took a loss, 2 losses on my funded accounts, and that's when I closed my funded accounts like that. Now I'm on an eval account. If this comes lower and wicks higher, I might just entertain myself. It's 10:45. Way to go, Shadow. This wick, my stop's just below the midpoint of this wick. Seeing if it will respect the midpoint of this wick and want to move higher. Doesn't look like it's going to. Nope. You know what, folks? I think we are going to call it a day. I don't like taking these trades like this with this crappy price action that we've been seeing. And the result of the crappy price action is poor setups and poor decision making. So we're going to call it a day. It's Friday anyway. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back on Monday morning. Monday morning at 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to join, we'd love to have you there. Other than that, guys, we're going to call it a day. God bless you. Stay safe. We'll see you